right, we have some breaking news to bring you right now. An update on the shooting. Two officers shot in Baldwin Park earlier, yesterday now on Saturday night. We're waiting for a press conference to begin to kind of fill in some of the blanks here of how this all unfolded.
Yeah, you're going to hear from the police chief of Baldwin Park, who is going to be speaking, coming up to the podium right now. This is Police Chief Robert Lopez. Take a listen.
Lopez, Chief of Police of Baldwin Park. I have the tragic duty to advise that one of our officers was murdered tonight. He answered a call of duty of shots fired to protect our residents in Baldwin Park. He and his other officers responded, and as customary with any police officer, any sheriff's deputy, they always respond and go into the fire, and that's what he did tonight. Tragically, he lost his life. Our officer was an amazing man. He was an avid snowboarder, Dodger fan. One of the interesting things that I found is that he would travel with and go see the Dodgers play at different stadiums across the United States. So it's extremely tragic to have to deal with this. I ask for your prayers. I ask for the community to remember the officers and the deputies that go out there every day pushing it black and white, making it safe for all of our families, our residents, and the community as well. The other officer, he's in good condition. He's surrounded by his family, and that's all I have right now at this point.
Thank you, Chief. As you can all imagine, it is extremely difficult for all of us to be out here to discuss the murder of a police officer, but specifically for the Baldwin Park Police Department. It's a tough moment, so I really appreciate the Chief being able to come out here and address the comments that he made. The Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department is taking the primary lead in the investigation of what is going to be, or it sounds like, a double murder. It looks like at least two people, one of them being our police officer who was shot and killed this evening earlier today. Another individual that was found deceased of apparent gunshot wounds. And then we have the other police officer who was injured, and we're still trying to determine the extent of his injuries. Now, please be patient with us. I know it took us a while to get out here. We were trying to gather as much information as we possibly could, but the information I'm going to give you is probably going to change because it's early in the investigation. And I think most of you were out in the multiple crime scenes that we have out in Baldwin Park. And so there's a lot of our detectives, investigators out there, and they're going to piece it all together. They have to interview witnesses. They have to evaluate the evidence. So there's a lot of work still to be done. But this is what I could tell you, that at approximately 7:12 p.m. tonight, officers from the Baldwin Park Police Department responded to a calls for service of gunshots and a person down. And as the chief said, for these officers, they didn't hesitate. They get a dispatch, somebody may need help, there's shots fired, they go right over there without hesitation. That's what these men and women do every day. When they arrived, they were met by gunfire. And again, I don't have any specifics yet. We're still trying to look into that. The call did indicate that there was an individual that was shooting rounds with a rifle. We're still trying, again, to determine exactly what that was. Obviously, one officer was struck and transported, and unfortunately, he is deceased. Very sad, very sadly to report that. The other officer is in stable condition. And then we have another victim that was found out there with apparent gunshots. Was the suspect that we have in custody the suspect that we believe to be the murderer of our police officer and maybe the individual out there? Yes, we do. You also need to know that when the suspect engaged the officers when they arrived, after those shots were fired, they obviously bravely tried to fight. Other officers immediately went to their assistance. An officer-involved shooting did occur at that time. I can't tell you how many officers fired at this time. That's still being investigated. How many shots were fired, that's all still being investigated. But the suspect was struck with gunfire, and he was transported to a local hospital in stable condition. This incident occurred in the 4200 block of Philhurst Avenue in the city of Baldwin Park. That's all the information we have now. Like I said, there are multiple teams from the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department Homicide Bureau who are out investigating, doing their thing, along with forensic folks. We did have our Special Enforcement Bureau that did respond earlier when there was some, as all these incidents are, they're very chaotic, to clear or help clear a home. But again, the suspect who murdered the Baldwin Park police officer is in custody, and he also murdered, or we believe he murdered, this other individual that was found out on the street. With that, I'm going to open it up to questions, but before I do, just a couple of points. I don't have much more information than I gave you, and it took us a little bit of time to get that together. Out of respect for Chief Lopez and the Baldwin Park Police Department, anybody asking about the officers' names, it's not that we don't want to give it to you. We're very proud of who they are, but here's our reality. We still have not been able to reach all the family members. So if any of you may have information about who they are, please don't put that out. Please, I'm asking you, out of respect for their family. Because we have one of the most difficult tasks that we have, that the chief or I or any of us, and that's to go tell the wife, maybe their children or their mother and father, that their loved one is never coming home again. And that hurts. That hurts a lot. So please don't pass on the name. Not now. In time, we'll get it to you, and we'll celebrate this hero as he was. Now, any questions?
Sheriff, was an actual weapon from the suspect recovered there at the scene, and you're saying possibly the murder suspect murdered another person, another bishop or deputy? Was that murder committed in the house, outside the house? Do we know at this point?
From the initial information we have, and again, it can change, we believe this may have happened outdoors, but that could change.
The weapon that was actually recovered that the suspect used, we know?
We believe we have recovered the weapon.
What time?
We're not going to get into that right now. The initial dispatch was that he was shooting with a rifle. That's the initial information we have. We'll have to confirm all that.
Nobody else was hit in the neighborhood by any of the rounds that were fired. We were hearing reports of anywhere from 6, maybe 15 or 20 shots total fired between the suspect and between the officers.
Yeah, those are all excellent questions, Pete, and that's part of the investigation. We want to make sure that we leave no stone uncovered. All I can share with you at this point, because we're still trying to identify and figure out what happened, a male adult that was deceased. And then as far as the suspect goes, male adult as well. We're still looking into who, what, where, why, all those other things. And our detectives are amazing. They'll get all that information.
Where was the male adult that was found dead? Where was he found dead? Street, lawn, sidewalk?
Those specifics are still being looked into.
So as far as you know, there's 2 officer shootings. The initial 2 officers, and then those responding to the citizens' officers.
We're still trying to determine that exactly. As I stand in here in front of you, from what I know, there's 1 officer-involved shooting, but again, that could change, and it's going to change because we're out there investigating it now, and our job is to put all the facts together. And if I didn't mention this, from the Los Angeles County District Attorney's Office, CAPOS is out there because they investigate all violent crimes or crimes against police officers. And JCID will also be out there because they investigate the officer-involved shooting as well.
I know, Chief, you're not getting too much into the tactical bit of the weeds on this one. Officers approached, were they fired on first or did they fire at the suspect?
The officers were fired on first, from what we can determine.
Was it gang-related?
We're still investigating all that. All right, folks, we're going to get back to the families. Thank you guys for your patience tonight. I know you waited a while, but we're so focused on the investigation. And then the most important thing is to wrap our arms around the families that were involved here, and then our officers as well, because we're hurting. Thank you.
Okay, you just heard from the LA County Sheriff's sheriff there, as well as Baldwin Park Police Chief. A tragic night for the Baldwin Park Police Department, as they have now confirmed one of the officers involved in this shooting has died. The other, the police chief says, is in good condition. They also know that one
other person died,
a man, was found dead at the scene.
And the suspect
is now in custody.
Yeah.
Now, they haven't offered any information on who that person was.
Yeah, we don't know.
Is.
Yeah, we don't know how the person they found dead is connected to the suspect.
Yeah.
And we also tonight, you might have been listening. They don't want to reveal the identities of the officers. They're still notifying family. So.
Yeah. And that is the very latest from this shooting we've been following all night in Baldwin Park. Of course, we'll bring you more on KCAL News Mornings.